It's never too late to follow your dreams, to start over, to really follow a life that is in complete alignment with who you are. Now, it might seem like it's easier at 20, 25-year-olds, and maybe you're 50 or 55 and you don't know where to start. How do you become more aligned in your life? How do you start over in life? Now, for me, I had a huge change when I was 40, and I realized that the life that I had made for myself while looking quite comfortable on the outside was very uncomfortable on the inside. And I knew I needed to a huge shift, and I knew I needed to create a business that would help me become financially independent, and I knew I needed a divorce, and I needed to find a new place to live. So how does that all how does that all happen? Because it might seem really overwhelming, and certain parts of it were. But what I learned is that small attainable goals and little tiny actions every day add up to some really, really big progress. So how do you come up with achievable goals? Well, it's really important to take some time and figure out exactly who you are and what do you want out of your new life. This should be an exciting time. It's a time where you really don't know where you're going to land, and it's also a time to really dream big, because no matter where you land, you're going to land in a different spot and everything's going to look a lot different. For me, I felt that I had this big goal of moving to California. So the fact that I ended up in an apartment in the same town that I was living in almost felt like a plane taking off and then not landing in the same spot, but like I was so excited for this new life. And then it kind of did a U turn and came back down and sat itself back down. And that was kind of devastating for me. However, I didn't need these huge shifts in my life. I didn't need another huge shift because I was already doing these other shifts. And my goals and who I was at that moment didn't align with this big move to California. What I needed during that time was a safe place to live. I needed a business that was sustainable to me and my son, and I needed to explore who I was. So the vision boards that I had created, the ones with the nice watch and the fancy vacations and the nice clothes and the big home, all of that, the things I thought that I wanted, it really didn't align with who I am, who I am now, who I was. And I had to dig a little bit deeper into those goals. What was it about that home that made me stick it on the vision board? Okay, well, it was safety. Okay, so how can I create safety right now? What is safe to me? What is unsafe? As you can see, we kind of just take these huge things we want, like a fancy house, and we take it back step by step by step until all of a sudden you look around and you can identify, okay, this makes me feel safe. Okay, this doesn't make me feel safe. And now you're taking these little tiny steps towards your goal. Another goal that I had was to have a business that sustained myself and my son, because I was going from my ex-husband and I had 3 businesses together, and now I was only going to have one. Okay, so how do I take this business and create something that that allowed me this life that I was living? And I was able to write down different ways that my business can make income, that I didn't really just have to focus on photography. I could focus on other things like retreats, like a podcast, like this YouTube channel that you're watching right now. So it's these big things. How can I make this big thing happen? Well, you just keep taking steps back until you find a step that works for you and you take that step. And then when you're on that step and you're safe and secure, you take another step and another step. But for me, having these huge goals, these huge dreams, they're fantastic, right? And I will never stop dreaming and I will never stop growing. And I use these big dreams to take tiny little steps in my life every day towards those dreams. Now, let's say you just don't know what you want in life. You just know that you don't want what you have, because that's a real truth too. That sometimes when we're so used to shoving down our feelings and we're so used to keeping the status quo that we don't even know what we want. And now when I was going through my big shift in life, well, one of them, there was no such thing as Chat GPT. But now there is. And I can't tell you how useful ChatGPT can be in helping you. You can ask it to ask you questions that will help identify what your goals and your dreams are. It'll help you identify your blocks. You have to really be open and honest with yourself first. And you have to know that you are blocked. You have to know that you have dreams, you just don't know what they are yet. And if you're in that space, it's okay. It's never too late to grow, to modify, to change course. It just isn't. There's no such thing. I just feel like for so long we've been taught that the right way is how everybody else is doing it. And that couldn't be farther from the truth, because the truth is the right way is what's right for you. And taking these tiny little steps towards your independence, towards your dream life, towards your dream home, it's huge. But you have to take the steps, and you have to have these big goals so that you can take a look back and find which way you want to go. For a long time, because my goals changed, I just thought that I wasn't worthy of setting them. Like, why would I set goals if I know they're not going to come true? And what I realized is that even though they don't come true maybe on the outside, and sometimes they do, by the way, but they are just guiding me towards the next thing. And once you get to the next thing, you get to decide which way you want to go. You don't have to have this big dream and stick to it no matter what, because you might find something that aligns better with you, that is more in tune with who you are, and that might offer you way more opportunities than what you set out to do. And that completely happens all the time, because you're allowing yourself to think differently and vibrate differently, and just things keep happening differently because you're taking these little actions that seem so small, like, is this safe or unsafe? These little tiny actions just lead you down paths that you never could have dreamed of anyways. So these dreams that you had are from when you were over here and you didn't know all the things you know now, and it just happens. Things just happen. So I hope this helps you. I hope this helps you on your journey. You are never too late. You are right on time. Just by taking a moment and setting these goals and then backtracking to where you are now, taking that one step, assessing, take another step, assess. You don't know where the path is going to lead you, but it's going to lead you back to yourself. And when it leads you back to yourself, everybody around you going to be so much happier and brighter and stronger with you, because you are making those strides. You are doing the healing so that the people around you can heal as well. We're all connected. I hope this helps. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to hear your story.